Hi, I'm Andrea, and in this video I'm gonna talk to you about the project Patient Monitoring System in a monitored environment. The goal of this project is to collect heterogeneous pieces of data and visualize them locally and online. Two are the actors involved in the collection of data: the room where the sensors are and the user. In particular, we want to monitor the humidity and the temperature of the environment and the temperature and the heart rate of the person using the system. I've used MQTT protocol to send and receive messages containing data information and REST protocol to visualize the collected data in a user-friendly way. We want to collect data from the environment and the user. In order to do it, I've used a Raspberry Pi that works also as a MQTT broker and an Arduino Uno. To collect data from the room we're in, I use Raspberry Pi connected via Wi-Fi. It is also wired to a breadboard in which is placed a DHT11 sensor that measures temperature and humidity. Regarding user data, I use an Arduino Uno. It is linked to an Ethernet shield that accesses the internet via Ethernet cable. The two of them are wired to a breadboard with an LCD display on it that shows the user messages to guide him during data collection. Two are the sensors connected: a DS18B20 waterproof temperature probe and a heart pulse sensor. A fundamental part of this project is about data visualization. To do so, I've used two different platforms. First is ThingSpeak. ThingSpeak is an open data platform that lets us store data from various sources via REST calls and let us see all the data we've collected in our different channels, showing us trends. The other platform is Freeboard, an open dashboard that lets us visualize the data collected in a nice and user-friendly graphic way. To show the latest data, I've used REST calls to doit.io. We can now start talking about data collection and check how the system works in real time. We'll see how we can be sure that the data are collected and sent, and how the final user can check what happened. First, we will focus on the environment monitoring. Then, we'll see how we collect the patient temperature and heart rate, and how they're visualized. Now, I'm launching the temperature and humidity data collection via Secure Shell from Raspberry. We see the data are collected and correctly sent via MQTT. Let's run also the ThingSpeak and Duit uploader and launch Freeboard, that we will use later. Now, we see that the messages with data are correctly sent and received via MQTT, and the REST calls to ThingSpeak and Duit were successful. As you can't send new pieces of data to ThingSpeak unless 50 seconds are passed, ThingSpeak and Duit calls works at two different speeds. Updating ThingSpeak channels, we see that the new room humidity and room temperature data are visualized with the date when they were collected. We can also see that there has been a problem with the DHT11 sensor and that the humidity has not been properly measured. That's not a problem, as the script tries to do a new measurement within a second. This new measurement has been successful. Now let's focus on the user data monitoring. Before starting the collection, let's load the Freeboard configuration in order to see later if the user is fine. Panels will be automatically updated as soon as we have new data. Now, let's run the post-processor of user data and connect the Arduino to the power. The LCD display tells us to put the sensors on. After a few seconds, collected data are shown live. The collection is now over. Data are being sent as arrays, split, post-processed, and REST calls are being done. In Freeboard, we can see the latest data collected and the messages about the user health condition. Now that we've seen that everything works correctly, while room data are still being monitored and processed, let's do another user data collection. This time, we'll focus on how this data are visualized in Freeboard and in ThinkSpeak. The collection has started. Heart pulse and temperature have been updated, and so the timestamp of their collection. The scripts are working fine. Lastly, let's check ThinkSpeak channels. We see that all data are visualized correctly. Regarding user info, we have the last 7 heart rates data and the last 7 temperatures, and their average values. There are also several environment data. If we check the timestamps, we can see that even if, as I've said earlier, data have been sent at different times, the timestamp we visualize in ThinkSpeak, as it was in Freeboard, is the time when the data actually have been measured.